Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Purpose Summit. I'm so happy that you're here and you're listening to this. And what that tells me is that you are on your own journey of living on purpose, finding your purpose, changing your purpose, figuring it out, or something along those lines. And you're here listening to these 20 amazing individuals who are the co-authors of the upcoming book, Women Living on Purpose, because they have shared their story of living on purpose in this upcoming paperback book. And they're here today with these interviews for you so that they can share their lessons, share some things that are really important to them about living purposefully. So thanks for being here. I'm happy that you're here. And I just want to have a quick reminder for you that if you signed up for this summit, which you did because you're listening, there is that free ebook, Tips for Living on Purpose, that is in that first email that you got when you registered. So be sure to read that because they're beautiful, quick tips that will help you to be more on purpose. So right now, I'm excited to talk to one of our co-authors of this book. Her name is Deborah Strafuss, and her title for her interview today is The Power of Ceremony in Living Purposefully. And I'm excited to hear that because I love that topic. I love ceremony of all kinds. So we'll hear from Deborah in a moment. I'm going to read a brief introduction first, and then to let you know a little bit about her. Deborah Lynn Strafuss is a Reiki master practitioner and teacher, a spiritual life coach, shamanic practitioner, author, and poet. She opened Crystal Reiki in 2012 after learning Reiki to cope with the challenges of her mother's Alzheimer's disease. A mother of 5 and grandmother of 12, Deborah is also a sacred childbirth with Reiki practitioner, working with birth and rebirth. She brings her focus to life transitions using healing modalities to assist her clients in transforming life experiences into spiritual strengths for living with grace, beauty, strength, and purpose. Find her poetry at deborahlynnbeginnings.com and her cathartic healing Alzheimer's story at onangelswings.net. And Deborah, I'm so happy to be here with you today and be talking with you. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you, Sue. I'm really thrilled to be here with you too. And I'm excited to have this conversation and talk about ceremony and purposeful living.
Me too. So let's define for our audience, what is ceremony?
That's a great beginning. So here's what I'm going to say just to start, that ceremony has become very important to me as I have moved forward in my shamanic practice. It's a tool that is used constantly, almost daily, by shamanic practitioners. And it's a tool that we are actually using ourselves and not realizing it. So the purpose of this conversation is just to make that more aware and more apparent to people listening, how you are using ceremony, how it can be used, and what it can do for you in living purposefully in your life. So that being said, Sandra Ingerman, who is a wonderful shamanic teacher and practitioner, describes ceremony as being the vehicle by which we bring the sacred into ordinary life. I actually see it as the vehicle by which we recognize the sacred that already is in ordinary life. We have the world divided into opposing thoughts all the time. This is sacred, this is ordinary. There's no such thing. The ordinary is sacred. And the power of ceremony is in helping us realize that and connect with the sacredness that is there. So it's transformative, it's purposeful. And the other thing about ceremony is that it is a co-creative partnership with spirit. And you are entering into a partnership and you're developing a relationship with spirit through ceremony that will fuel and support your daily life in all areas.
Beautiful. I love that. I know I feel like jumping ahead to a lot of things, but I know we're going to try to go in order to keep this right. I just want to say, first of all, I think of ceremony, you said, when I first saw ceremony, because stuff has happened in my family life, I thought of marriage as a ceremony. So that's what you're talking about, really. Anything can be sacred, even a marriage is sacred in a way, can be any kind of ceremony.
Yeah, so a lot of us, and thank you for asking that question, a lot of us associate ceremony with some kind of religious sacramental ceremony. And that is a valid form of ceremony, and it is tied to a set of religious beliefs, and it uses sacrament and Sometimes it's a legal ceremony as well.
Mhm.
The ceremony that we use every day is simply connecting and partnering with spirit. It's not set in there's not a ritual to it. A lot of the sacramental ceremony is ritual. It's a repeated
Yeah.
set of steps, instructions. Ceremony with spirit and that you use in your daily life is much less structured. That's why I call it a creative or a co-creative process between you and spirit. So you want to just move that, yes, that ceremony, and we use it to mark important points in life, but ceremony is for much more than just that.
Got it. Okay. So let's talk about further about ceremony and why is it important in healing people and helping people to heal themselves and to move forward in their lives?
Great, beautiful question. Because ceremony sets aside a specific dedicated time to focus on your intention. It focuses spiritual energy. Again, that partnering with spirit comes forth and brings that extra oomph. It's kind of like charging your batteries. It's like getting a solar charge. Here's your intention. There it is. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to activate it? Ceremony activates intention. It develops relationship with spirit. And I like to say it's kind of like putting an exclamation point on the end of the sentence. Okay. When you're in ceremony, and I'm just going to show you this because it's just fun. So you think of an exclamation point. I'm going to draw one. Here it comes like this, and then boom. So you see the motion here is spirit powering up to move forward. That's the purpose of ceremony. It may help you leave something that you need to leave to move forward. It may help you heal something so that you can move forward. It's going to remove blocks, set intentions, and just power you up. So I say it's the exclamation point of
I,
intention.
I love that. I will never look at an exclamation point the same way again. And I think I overuse exclamation points, but maybe not. Maybe it's perfect. So thank you for that.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
So let's talk about ceremony. So what are the elements of a simple ceremony?
Okay. And this is where people get confused and worried and fearful and like, how can I do this? Because we think it's got to be this big thing. We see ceremonies for weddings and for bar mitzvahs and all sorts of ceremonies that we embrace and love, and they're wonderful. But it becomes daunting to think about creating a ceremony for yourself. So it's actually fairly simple. There's three parts to a ceremony. There's three parts to everything, you know. It starts with the beginning, and then there's a middle, and then there's an end. Okay, it's very simple, three stages. What is important is planning and preparation. So you have sort of a vision, you have an urge of something that you may want to just kind of cement. You might want to use that tool and bring that exclamation point in. How are you going to do that? So there's a co-creative process with spirit about what is my ceremony going to include? What do I need to do? Am I writing things down on a piece of paper and burning them? Do I need a fire? Do I need pen and paper? Do I need water? You know, what do I need a candle? Do I need a bell? Do I need a plant? What do I need? It can be very simple. It can be as simple as putting a plant here. Okay. It can be as complex as bringing in many different pieces for different parts of ceremony. So you create that. And then as you begin to get that idea of how you're going to emphasize and bring forth the activation of this intention, you now have an idea of what that space needs to look like.
Mhm.
Where am I going to hold this ceremony? Am I going to do it, you know, sitting in my bedroom with my plant by me? Am I going to go outside? Do I have a special place in my home? Am I creating a space? What am I doing? So where is that space going to be? What is going to be my focal point? This is sort of your altar. And again, an altar can be as simple as lighting a candle.
Mhm.
It can be as complex as bringing in many elements. If you're doing a ceremony for healing with your ancestors or connecting with your loved one, you might bring in a picture or an item of theirs, right? So
Mhm.
ceremony gets created about things that are meaningful, and it deals with the language of symbolism. So if you think about a lot of our religious ceremonies, there's a lot of symbolism. Ordinary elements are imbued with spiritual meaning. So you imbue those elements that you're bringing in with the intention and the meaning of your spiritual process. And then it's fairly simple. You start, and it's kind of like having a visitor. If you're going to have a visitor, what do? You clean your house, right? So you clear the space. You send out an invitation. You welcome them. So you send an invitation to spirit. You welcome spirit in. And then you have your ceremony, the meal, the celebration, whatever it is that you've planned. And then you are finished and you say goodbye to your guests. You thank them for coming. You usher them to the door. You close the door, close the space, close the circle, and then you put away the special things you brought out. You clean up the table, and you clear up your space. So that's a ceremony. It's really simple. You're inviting spirit in, you're creating a space, you're celebrating with them, and you're saying goodbye.
Great. I love it. And I love that you made it so simple and that it's three parts, right? Beginning, middle, end. Just that simple. And that's beautiful. And you're right. Everything has three parts. Every single thing, our life, all of it. Right? So
Yep.
that's great. So now you are a healer. You work with healing practices, you work with people, you're a shaman. Tell me about that and tell me what would be the role of a healer in providing ceremony.
Okay, so one of the things we've been talking about is the simplicity of ceremony and that anyone can do it. Anyone can perform ceremony. It's almost innate in our nature. We know it's important to mark important places in our life and to power up those intentions for moving forward. When you might want to use a guide or someone to offer ceremony for you, a couple of very straightforward answers. If you're sick, you're not up to really creating. The benefit of having someone perform ceremony for you is that you're the recipient or the participant. You're not the orchestrator. Okay. It allows you to step into a different place to receive and to fully participate. When you are conducting ceremony, you are in a place of they call them officiants in the world view of things, but you are in a place of setting up the space, the container, as one of my teachers called it. You create a safe container, a sacred space, and you are responsible for watching over the flow of the ceremony and cleaning up. So having someone do that for you can allow you to be a participant. It's also wonderful when you're anticipating perhaps celebrating a ceremony within a group, because there's a group management issue. And the person who is facilitating this ceremony for you will manage the group as well as the process of the ceremony. And then also you have someone who is experienced. So you have someone who has been using ceremony every day for years or creating ceremony. So there's an ease. When I teach Reiki students, my level 1 students always look at their hands and they say, well, how do I know if this is going to work? And that's kind of the same idea we have about ceremony, but an experienced person presenting or guide or practitioner presenting ceremony for you doesn't have that worry. They know they've connected with spirits hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of times. It's there. They move through it.
Yep.
That's the benefit.
Beautiful. Tell me, what's one of your favorite ceremonies that you provide?
Well, one that I'm working with a lot right now is generational healing. And it's actually, for me, it's very female oriented. It's mother-daughter. I happen to be in this beautiful position of being able to look back 3 generations and forward 3 generations. So I'm literally sitting in the middle of 7 generations, and I am seeing mother-daughter relationships work out and father-son. So I've been developing this beautiful healing ceremony for mother daughters, for generational healing within family that moves backwards and forwards, which I really love. And then the other one that has been important recently is healing of promises. So that's another whole issue. Sometimes we have made promises, or others in our line have made promises that we're not even aware of, that are affecting our lives now in the present. And in order sometimes to move forward, we need to clear those and set new intentions. So
Mhm.
sometimes when we're setting an intention, we have a difficult time with it. And it can be that it just needs a little bit of clearing and healing. So those are a couple I really like right now.
Great. Sounds wonderful. So I know this has been great. I love this information that you're sharing. I love all this fun stuff, and we're learning from you. And I know that you have a gift for our listeners, some gift of ceremony. Will you tell me about that? Tell us about that.
Yes, yes. So what I have done is to make a guide for simple ceremony, just so that you have something to kind of walk you through it and to support you in living your life of purpose and power. And you can find that at my website, which is crystalreikienergy.com. Just go and visit there and get your free guide to creating simple ceremonies for supporting your intentions.
Beautiful. I love it. Now, let's go a little further with the whole ceremony thing. I know that you just love sharing things. So, what are some other ceremonial healings that you provide for groups? And what if somebody wants to do that with you? Can they do that? Do you have to be live and in person, or you can do it anywhere?
Well, the Zoom has zoomed into our lives. So yes, it's possible to do a Zoom ceremony. Absolutely. You can set it up. I've participated in some and I've held a couple that have gone very well. So it can be done via Zoom and it can be done in person. One of the nice things about ceremony and that I like to create ceremonies. So if you have a group, an event, a particular purpose that you are looking to accomplish, I can create a ceremony for marking that. So it's a kind of a custom ceremony. I have a retreat coming up where they are creating dreams. So we're going to have a dream activation intention ceremony for just really cementing those dreams in. And that will be a lovely one to conduct. So that's basically, it's an open door. You bring me what you need. I've done family healing ceremonies as well too, and mentored people through creating their own family healing ceremonies when families are in crisis or a difficult point and they find themselves not working together well. Somebody will call and reach out, and this process can really clear and heal and open lines for working together and communication and working as a family.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it because, ceremonies are fun too. I think that sometimes, maybe we give them maybe too much importance depending on what it means to us, but also they can just be fun. They can be just something that's easy and light, or it can be pretty deep. I've been into some ceremonies like you're talking about, healing ceremonies, releasing
Yep.
ceremonies. They can be very deep and very profound and really meaningful. So I love that you're doing this and you're available to do this. And so this is great. So what is your website again, Deborah?
So again, people can reach me at crystalreikienergy.com, and there's a contact page on there. So you just fill out the contact and I'm happy to speak with you. And yes, I'm definitely going to confirm your sense of lightness and ceremony, because to be honest with you, as you're finishing up ceremony, even if it's been heavy and deep, there's an element of celebration because you've accomplished this purpose, you've made this connection, spirit has come to help you, and it's a joyous thing to be able to release that work to spirit and celebrate it. So I would say celebration is a definite element in creating ceremony.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Deborah, I'm so happy that you joined us today and you've shared all this information. I think that I'm going to create my own simple ceremony. I have a few, but I think I'll do that based on some stuff that you said today. So thanks for that. And, Deborah, I love your story in the book. I had the opportunity to read the whole book, that's coming out on June 29th. Love your story in the book. I know our listeners will love reading that as well. Remind me, what is the title of your chapter?
Connecting the dots.
That's it. That's it. Yes, I remember now.
Connecting
Yes,
the dots.
terrific. So
Yes.
look for that, everybody. And Deborah, so thank you for sharing your beautiful self with us, your beautiful energy, and this information on ceremony. Thanks for being a part of this.
Thank you so much, Sue. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you and to talk with all of our viewers and to share this special time about ceremony.
Beautiful, beautiful. And listeners, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being on this journey, this mindful journey, this conscious journey that you're on. And I invite you to buy this book, Women Living on Purpose, on our launch day, which is June 29th. We are having a 99-cent Kindle sale on that one day only. Whether you buy the paperback book or the Kindle book that day, if you bring your Amazon receipt number back to our website, you will be able to receive many more gifts from our authors and our partners. So you'll love that. So it's just a huge win-win-win for everybody all around. So be sure to do that. Our website is womenonpurposebook.com, and you can find information about the authors there. And also you read that free ebook that we sent to you when you first registered for this summit, Women or Living on Purpose Tips, which are great. 200-word tips. They're super short and really powerful, by the way. So enjoy each of those. And they're by all the authors also that are in this paperback book. So thank you all so much for being here. Thanks for being on this journey. And we will see you at the next summit interview. Bye for now, everybody.